So here we are. We're talking about fixing and healing the world. And yet the world seems to be at war and fighting all the time. Some countries are at literal war, destroying and killing each other. Some countries are at economic war, fighting each other. We are fighting to preserve the integrity of our environment. Our political parties are at war. And in your life, I'm sure you're fighting something, right? You're fighting to make a living, to put food on the table for your family. You're fighting to achieve your goals. You're fighting to give your children a better life with a better education. Perhaps you're fighting cancer. We always seem to be fighting. And when you are fighting, where is there space for fixing and healing? When you think about it, fighting in war, two opposing forces coming together head to head. Where does fixing and healing fit into that? In fact, the only thing I know that comes out of fighting in war is destruction and death. And now add into that the media. What do? They stoke those flames of anger, separating us, keeping us from being together. And so many people now are validating their worth as a human being by whether somebody likes them on social media. And when they don't get the response they need, or they want, they're angry, they're sad, they're depressed. So where does this end? Where does fixing and healing our world begin? What's the answer? There is an answer. The answer has been around for a very long time. In fact, it's been around since the beginning of time. The answer is simple. It resides in me. It already resides in every single one of you. The answer is kindness and love. Unconditional kindness and love. It already exists inside all of us. When you come from a place of unconditional kindness and love, all things are possible. Think about this. If each and every one of you came from a place of unconditional kindness and love, where would there be room for fighting? Where would there be room for war? We would come together collectively as a group, solving the issues that we face in our world, and then perhaps even making it better and taking it to the next level. Kindness and love. Kindness and love are the most powerful, positive forces on the face of this earth. And if you doubt what I'm saying, some of the most enlightened beings that have ever walked on the face of this planet taught one thing: unconditional love and kindness for everyone. Oh, you would know these people. They were people like Jesus and Abraham, Muhammad, Buddha, Confucius, Krishna, and many others too. They understood the power of unconditional kindness and love could bring us together and make all things possible. In our modern day, Dr. Martin Luther King knew the only way that we could heal this divided country wasn't through fighting and war, but was through kindness and love. So where did it go? How do we find it again? Let me share with you my story. How I lost the kindness and love in my life. In fact, my life got so bad, my life almost ended. And then how I rediscovered the kindness and love in my life. And it literally transformed every single area of my life, now allowing me to commit my life to spreading this message and helping people discover the unconditional kindness and love inside of them and truly living the life of their dreams. You see, when I was a kid, I always had this little idea in my head that I needed to help people and make a difference in this world. I was a shy, quiet little boy full of kindness and love. And you know what? You would have noticed me when I was a kid. I was the fat kid. And when I say I was the fat kid, I was the fat kid. And people teased me. They made fun of me because I was different. And I'm sure many of you know what it's like to be different, to stand out. Maybe your skin's a different color. Maybe you have different religious beliefs. Maybe your sexual orientation is different. Maybe you dress different. Maybe you're a different shape or a different size, but you stand out and you're different, and people tease you and they bully you. It hurts. That was me. And my kindness and love began to fade away in my life. I began to withdraw from the world. I spent my time watching endless hours of TV and eating. And a horrible cycle began. Horrible cycle. The more I was teased, the more I withdrew, the more I ate, the bigger I got, and the more I was teased. And one day, the kindness and love that I had inside of myself, that desire to make a difference in this world, to help people, was gone. I became angry and frustrated. I hated the world. I hated myself. I was angry. I was fighting all the time, mostly fighting myself. And this went on for years. And finally, as an adult, one day, that pain became too great. I couldn't stand it anymore. All I wanted to do was die. I lost my desire to live. So, one day, I took a bottle of sleeping pills. I took a bottle of painkillers. And I poured them in a paper cup. There was probably enough medication there to kill an elephant. And I remember taking that cup, walking into my bathroom, placing it on my bathroom counter, and I looked in the mirror. I was at my peak. I weighed 360 pounds. In case you haven't noticed, I'm not a giant. I'm 5'6". I had a 56-inch waist. I was almost as big around as I was tall. And I looked in the mirror, and I saw nothing. And I took all the pills. And I remember after taking the pills is sitting down in this chair. This chair I had that I used to hide from the world. It was my security blanket. I ate in that chair. I watched TV in that chair. And I remember sitting in that chair and feeling relief and panic at the same time. I felt relieved that the pain and suffering I had gone through my entire life was about to end. But I panicked because I didn't know what was going to happen. Would I die? What would happen if I died? And at some point, I passed out. And then something miraculous happened. It was the next day, and I opened my eyes. I was still in that chair. Nobody had found me. I never went to a hospital. And I remember looking up through my window, and I saw this incredible, bright, white light. It was beautiful. It was magnificent. I can't even describe it in words. It was a very surreal moment, and it was so peaceful. In fact, for a moment, I thought I was dead. And then I realized, I'm alive. I am alive, and I must be here for a reason. And then I began to sob uncontrollably. And those tears began to wash away all the pain, all the anger, all the frustration of my life. And all that was left was this little flame, this little voice of the unconditional kindness and love that I had for myself. And I made a decision that day, I got very clear, and I got out of that chair. And I began to nurture that unconditional kindness and love that I had for myself. And as it began to grow, the necessity for me to hold on to all this weight I've been holding on to protect myself for all those years went away. The burdens of life had been lifted from my shoulders. And then a funny thing happened. As I became kinder and more loving to myself, I began to see others through the eyes of compassion, even people that I was angry with, that were mean to me. I saw them through kindness and love, and I realized that they were going through their own struggles, their own fights, and their own wars. That was many years ago. My life has been totally transformed. I've kept off more than 180 pounds now for many, many years. But more than that's happened. I have committed my life every day to helping people discover the unconditional kindness and love they have inside of themselves. It's in you now. So, how do you get that unconditional kindness and love back? Because once you discover it, something wonderful happens. You see, when you discover the kindness and love inside of yourself, it begins to grow, and you begin to share it. You'll share it with your family. You'll share it with your friends, the people at work. Perhaps you'll even share it with the strangers around you. And then, that's when the magic happens. You begin to start a chain, an unbroken chain that spreads like wildfire. That, my friends, is how we are going to heal and fix this world. So how do you discover that kindness and love inside of you? I'm going to tell you how. I'm going to give you 3 things you can do starting now, today, to help you rediscover that unconditional kindness and love inside of you. Now, the things I'm going to give you to do are really simple, but they may not always be easy. And the power in doing these things is doing them consistently on a daily basis. So here they are. Number 1, every day, write out, and yes, it must be written out. Why? Because neuroscientists have taught us now that when we write things out in our own handwriting, they have a greater impact on our mind, and we believe them to be true. So write these things out every day. 3 things you're thankful for. 3 things you love and like about yourself. 3 things you're good at. Oh, we've got to be different every day. I'm going to tell you that for the first couple days, this will be a really easy exercise. I'm going to tell you that after that, for most of you, this is going to be a very difficult thing to do. Why? Because you're used to finding all these great things in the big things in life. And it's going to force your mind to begin to search. And you're going to realize that all these great things exist in the everyday things that you do. Perhaps even in the not-so-great things that you do. Number 2, every day commit to 3 random acts of kindness. It could be more, but 3 is fine. And they don't have to be big things. A kind word or a compliment to a stranger. Maybe a hug to somebody that could really use a hug. Or perhaps just ears to somebody who needs to be listened to. And the last thing, number 3, my favorite one of all. Every night as you get into bed and you're ready to fall asleep, turn off your TV. And as you're lying there with your eyes closed, think about how you want your life to be. Full of the unconditional kindness and love you have for yourself, accomplishing all the things you want to accomplish in your life. Happiness, joy, success, whatever it is. And imagine it if it's already happening now. You're living that life now. And make it in great detail. See the details. Hear them. Feel them and experience them. And just go to sleep. See, when you're sleeping, magical things happen. Your conscious mind communicates to your unconscious mind. Then you open up that doorway to the infinite intelligence of the universe. And one day you're going to wake up. It's going to be your reality. So do these 3 things. I challenge you to do these 3 things every day for the next 30 days. And notice. Notice how much more unconditional kindness and love you have for yourself. Notice how much more unconditional kindness and love you're receiving from others. Notice how your life is happier. I challenge you. And so I'm standing in this circle. I am you. You are me. Together, we are here now, and we start a chain today, this moment in time. I am giving to you right now my unconditional kindness and love. I am here to serve you. All of you, you are my brothers and sisters. I love you. I love you. And I leave you today with this thought and this question. The world is yours. You already have the power that exists inside of you to fix and heal this world. So what will you do with it? Thank you.